Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, are the Cowboys' playoffs hopes toast without Ezekiel Elliott? Plus, reaction to Carson Wentz and the Eagles earning an important win against Cam Newton's Panthers. And is Michael Jordan right when he says the super teams are bad for the NBA? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. The Eagles got a huge road win in Carolina, beating the Panthers 28-23 behind 3 touchdown passes from Carson Wentz. Philly extended their division lead and now have the NFC's best record at 5-1. The Panthers lost Luke Kuechly to a concussion in the first half, and Cam Newton struggled all night, throwing 3 interceptions. Let's take a listen to Cam after the game.
A game like that, you just have to protect the football better, and I'm mostly talking to myself with that. We just got to communicate better offensively, to be on the same page, and when we do that, I think the outcome is better. But the fact that that's a great team, or a good team that we're playing, playoff caliber football, and I think that was our first dose of that, and we will be better from it.
Shannon, what was your takeaway from the game last night?
I got a lot of takeaways, Joy. One is, Skip, your team's in trouble.
I just said that.
No!
I just said that.
I wanted to say
You already rubbed it in on myself.
Nope.
You can't rub it in
I
anymore.
know that's what you're trying
it's
to do.
over.
No,
it's over.
It's not going to be
Joy,
over.
it's over.
I don't know. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Skip, I believe the Eagles I thought they were good. The Eagles are better than I thought. Let's start with the defensive side of the football, getting Fletcher Cox back. Now, Skip, I don't know if Aaron Donald and Fletcher Cox both play DT. He's not in the same seat as Aaron Donald, but he might be in the seat right behind him on that same bus. He's special. Now, you saw him walk Trey Turner, who is a very good guard. He walked him back, sat him in Cam Newton's lap, deflected a pass, which was intercepted. So defensively, they're going to be the reckon with. Their front seven is for real. The back end, they're plenty good enough. Are they elite? Do they have Denver secondary? No. Do they have the Seattle secondary? No. But their front seven is plenty good to do what they need to get done, and so their back end doesn't have to be outstanding. Second of all, that old young quarterback, that number 11, the one they traded up for, Joy, gave a king's ransom for him. Shot say he gave like 50 buckets of shillings. Oh, that's not much. Or how about this? Like 10 bricks. 10
How about gold?
10 bricks of gold.
Yeah.
The one they traded up,
Yeah.
and his head coach says he got a little bit of Peyton Manning,
Oh,
a little
got
Brett
it all.
Favre,
Yep.
a little Jim Kelly.
Yep.
It was all on display last night. You saw him last night, Skip?
I did. What time's that parade today?
Hold up, Skip.
Is the parade today in Philadelphia? Or
It's
maybe it's
now.
tomorrow. It's tomorrow, I think.
No. Oh, which one? The one they throw for winning the game, or the one they throw that Zeke's about to go home for about 6 weeks? Which
Probably
one they have?
both,
Okay.
both at once.
I told you, he has better mobility than people give him credit for. And his arm talent, he's only going to
Everybody knows he has
No.
mobility. Come on. You're not the only one who said that.
No. He has better mobility.
Okay.
We knew he had mobility.
He's got mobility. He's a nice athlete.
No. You
Yeah.
talk about Zach. You said Dak's a better athlete.
He is a better athlete. He's a better runner with the ball.
I don't want
He's
you
a
to-
smarter runner.
I'm
with
not
the ball.
asking you any questions.
Did you see the hits he took?
I'm reclaiming my time,
Did you
Joy.
see the hits he took last
I'm
night?
reclaiming my time.
He'll just run headlong into some DT. Go ahead.
I got
It's your show.
I got an extra 30 seconds. That's all I need.
Lord have mercy.
Success on third down. When you look at Skip, do you know on 3rd and 10 or longer, the Eagles are averaging 45%. League average is 19.7. When you can pick up 3rd and long and keep your offense on the field, you're going to win more times than not. Now
They were 5 out of 14 last
Yeah,
night.
but on 3rd and long. But here's the thing. They did have a bunch of penalties. Carolina, 1 penalty, 1 yard. But when you have 3 turnovers, you're going to lose. Now, one of those turnovers was Cam's fault. I think the other was the defense caused those. But when you look at this, what I'm starting to see when I watch the Carolina Panthers, teams are starting to bring the blitz with Cam early because they say if we get to him early, it will affect his accuracy late. That's what we're starting to see. He took some hits. Now, we always knew Cam didn't have the best offensive line, and he's taking some hits. Luke Kuechly, that injury scares me. These concussions are starting to come with greater regularity, Skip. and they're starting to put him down for an extended period of time.
Yep.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can play defense without your head. And he's always going to run the risk because I think this is his third one in 3 years. So he's always going to run that risk. But my most glaring weakness, my most glaring concern last night, and my biggest takeaway, I did not like the way Mike Shula called this ball game. Skip, they came early. Philly came early in the first quarter. They came with what we call a zero bomb blitz, which means they brought the house and they left the middle of the field open. And Mike Shula, you call an out route? If somebody comes with a bomb blitz, which means they're man across the board with no safety in the middle.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know what's coming. He has to guess what's coming. It wasn't like he knew what was coming.
Well, why would you call a speed? You did know what was coming because you called an out route. Why would you call it out into a blitz?
How do you know what's coming? You don't know whether they're going to blitz.
Because that's why you study game tape. You know
I mean, you got to guess. If you guess wrong, you guess wrong. There are certain defenses you'd guess right on.
If I guess wrong, I'm going to guess wrong throwing a go route or a post. Skip, all of it's guessing.
It's just crazy.
Skip. Now, you're going to not listen. Now, I'm going to listen to you when it comes to journalism, but when it comes down to breaking down tape.
I know how to break down tape, too. Trust me.
Go ahead, your turn.
Yeah. Well, tell me
No,
when you're finished.
You go.
Okay, I will go. So the two things you conveniently just scooped right under the carpet is that, number one, the Eagles got 2 gift touchdowns that just changed the game. One was on the Fletcher Cox play, and one was on the Terrence Williams memorial play, the T-will as in T-won't play, in which Cam throws a perfect pass to Jonathan Stewart, and it goes right through his hands to an Eagle. Well, that's just not meant to be. It's just bad team football. And when you give him the ball at the 12 and the 17, and Carson Wentz, I give it up to you, you cashed on your 2 chances in the red zone. You went for 2 for 2, and that was the football game. And Carson Wentz went 16 for 30. That is 53%. It's just okay. What did he throw
Against the third-ranked defense in the NFL.
222 yards. It's okay.
Against the third-ranked defense on the road.
With any pressure on him at all, he was wild high, he was wild low, he was occasionally deer in headlights. He takes off running and takes it right in the face mask twice, trying to make yards, which will not last. That's what I learned from the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. That's what everybody says. And I saw a guy who doesn't have great feel for the game, great poise, great touch. He just guns it. And when he has time and he locks in and he guns it, he's got much better receivers than Dak Prescott has, because that's a group of receivers. And Zach Ertz came into this game leading the National Football League among tight ends in catches and yards. Did you know that? Zach Ertz, what a security blanket he is. He only caught 2 balls last night, but both went for touchdowns, because young Carson Wentz really can trust that tight end, and he can really get open on those 3rd and long plays or those in the red zone tough plays in the end zone. So I give you that, but Carson Wentz is not in Dak Prescott's league. I don't care what you say, he's just not, and that will be proven over time.
No, he's not. He's 5-1. Dak's 2-3.
Yeah, well. So, as I just told you, you want to talk about receivers? He's got receivers now, because when you can go Alshon and Aguilar and that kid Hollins that they took in the 4th round out of North Carolina, every time I look up, there's another North Carolina player.
Hold on, let me get this right, Skip. So now Alshon Jeffrey is better than Dez.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Heck yes, he is.
Okay.
I'll take him any day of the week over Dez. You're the one who told me Dez has lost a step, can't beat anybody. Yeah, I'll take him in a second. I'll take Aguilar over Dez. Did you see the route Aguilar ran across the middle?
Yeah, I saw it.
Whew, man.
Stop. You overreacted.
Then let's get to Cam Newton. Cam was really good for 3 quarters. He threw some MVP caliber passes. But with the money on the table in the 4th quarter, he turned back into bad Cam. I'm sorry, he was that guy from last year, the guy we thought was hurt. He lost his accuracy. He threw the 1 pick late in the game that I have no idea what he's thinking. He thinks Kelvin Benjamin's going to save him by cutting back across the field, and he just throws it up for grabs, and you can't do it. You got 2 cracks. You got the ball back twice, and you're going to have to drive for a touchdown. But if you're that guy, if you're the MVP, and he played 2 MVP games at Tom Brady and at Matthew Stafford, you drive one of those times for a touchdown. And then the game ends on a Cam pass. I'm sorry, it was horrendously bad. He just threw it right in the dirt to your little guy, Christian McCaffrey, Which brings me to Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry, you ranted and raved about how great he's going to be. When Carolina stole him in the draft, Cam's got a new toy, it's going to change the world in Carolina. Baloney, it's going to change the world. I told you and told you and told you it's not going to change the world. He's not going to have huge NFL impact. He cannot run it between the tackles. And last night, they were pathetic running the ball, except for the quarterback. Well, that won't last. If Cam has to go 11 times for 71 yards and be the only running threat you have, because all 4 backs total 9 yards. 4 other guys carried the ball and totaled 9 yards. And Christian McCaffrey had 4 between the tackles carries and got 8 yards. And Cam is getting too dependent on Christian McCaffrey. He's not sudden. He's not explosively fast. He doesn't have that gear where you say, wow, like a Tyreek Hill gear, or even, for that matter, a Kareem Hunt gear, where you say,
yes,
whoa.
he has. First of all, Skip, Tyreek Hill was an elite sprinter.
I got it.
So, no, he doesn't have that.
He does not have that.
But nobody else has that either.
I'm just saying, he goes to him 14 times last night. Cam threw him 14 balls, and he caught 10 for a grand total of 56 yards. It's just not enough. He caught a 1-yard touchdown pass, and he's a nice little receiver, but he's not a difference maker. In fact, I'm sitting there last night thinking, gee, because I'm rooting for Cam against Philadelphia because of the Cowboys, and I'm thinking, I wish that right now Carolina had the current Stanford running back, Bryce Love. Well, have you been seeing what Bryce Love is doing? You want to talk about running between the tackles?
And I saw Christian McCaffrey do that in college also.
He did not do this. Listen to what Bryce Love has done, just so people, just to put this in some perspective. He had 160 against USC. He had 263 against UCLA. These are just rush yards, not catch yards. He had 301 against Arizona State, and then 152 against a tough defense at Utah. This is unbelievable what this kid is doing, and it's beyond Christian McCaffrey.
Skip, first of all,
Christian McCaffrey, overrated. Great kid.
No,
I know he's the son of your buddy.
No, I don't judge a player like that. But you're being unfair to him because you're looking at him through the prism of Leonard Fournette, featured back in Jacksonville.
I don't love Leonard Fournette.
And you're looking at Kareem Hunt, feature back in Kansas City. He's not the feature back. Jonathan Stewart is. So, and I told you how they were going to use him. Is he? Jonathan Stewart.
He had 8 carries for -4 last night.
And Fozzie Whitaker had 1 for -3, and he got hurt. But first of all, you talk about Cam. You talk about Carson Wentz was 16 to 30. Can you tell people at home what was Dak's numbers against the Broncos, a team that brought pressure? Never mind. That's neither here nor there. I have a problem with the way Mike Shula called the game. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You know Cam is struggling throwing the football, and you throw 2 passes. Now, all this other time, you run quarterback power, you run quarterback ISO. You're not going to give Cam Newton, just get the first down. It's a minute and 35 seconds. You're already in plus territory, Skip. Why would you not get the first down and get 4 more cracks at the end zone as opposed to throwing? Because you see he's struggling with his accuracy. That made no sense to me.
Struggling with his accuracy.
Again, we watch all this tape, Joy. Let me tell you something. You know something about this. We watch all this tape because we assume when we get in this formation, this area of the field, we're anticipating certain coverages. When they give us what we want, we don't want a 15-yard first down. We want a 35-yard touchdown. That's why you study tape. You're anticipating in this. We line up in this formation, a 3-by-1, this area of the field. 80% of the time, this is what the Eagles do. They come with the bomb blitz, bring everybody 0 coverage, which means no one is in the middle of the field. You don't throw a 15-yard route to get a completion and a first down. You want to make them hurt. You go for the touchdown. Second of all, I understand that Cam, he's going to be the driving force. All your passing yards, okay, I get all that. He's the quarterback. He should be. But he cannot be the primary ball carrier. You have to find some resemblance.
You cannot do it.
No.
You're not going to last very long doing it.
No.
And you know what? He was extraordinary last night.
He was.
On some of those runs. The touchdown run, the juke, little juke that he made. My God. Okay, this is a what is he, 260?
No, he's come down. He's about 245 now. But let me ask you.
How about the dive, the Superman dive for the touchdown?
He might have nicked his shoulder on that one too.
He might have. He was stung.
But here's the thing. As well as he was running the ball last night, on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, Skip, why would you not let Cam get the first down at least one time?
Well, now you're falling back into that trap, but I agree with you. Like, that's all you got.
I'm not saying make it a habit of it, but I'm saying on 3rd down, 4th down, one of those.
Do it. I agree.
Let him get the first down. Look at Aaron Rodgers. Same thing. When it was 3rd and 1, what did they do? They let him run the quarterback sneak. He lines up, and let's go from there. Get the first down, and now you can kill the clock. You come up to the line of scrimmage, spike the ball, you still have 3 downs. It made no sense to me the way he called this ball game. I didn't like it. Now, I'm going to tell you what Philadelphia's problem going to be, Skip.
Good. I need to know.
If they do not find a running back that's willing to stick his nose in there and pick up those blitzing linebackers, they're going to have problems. Because Carolina showed it last night. The way that you get to this team is that you bring a Sam, Will, or Mike backer and get him one-on-one with those running backs because they seem unwilling to stick their nose in there. Running backs, let me tell you what you do, how you stop it. You cut the distance in which the guy's going to come. Because if you sit there, he's going to sit you in the quarterback's lap. You better step to him, give him a one-way option, and fight your butt off.
This is LeGarrette Blount.
He's 255.
He will run over you when he has the leverage and the advantage, but if he has to sit still and take you on, he's not going to do it.
He got to. He'll get his quarterback hurt. Because somebody's going to drill his quarterback.
He missed last night.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then he got a 15-yard penalty because he's trying to
he was driving the guy back in. I know.
It's too late.
Yep.
The damage is done.
So, in the big picture, when Kuechly goes out mid-second quarter, I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Because he is the Sean Lee. I know we go back and forth about who's better, but at least they're in the same sort of stratosphere.
He's the quarterback.
But he is the guy.
Yes.
And he can really cover. And when you take him away, especially from red zone pass defense, it all of a sudden it unlocks everything because he is the guy in the middle of the field. He is lurking everywhere. He disrupts the middle of the football field on passing downs. And when you take him away, that kid they bring in, he's just not that good.
No.
He tries hard. He runs around. His hair's flying. He looks good. He looks the part, but he can't play the part.
And I saw the part that the play that he got hurt on. I thought it was his shoulder because they was checking his shoulder. Right.
His feet went out from under him. He got hooked around.
And so that they're rubbing on his shoulder. I'm thinking it's his shoulder. And then when
you know what? He has cumulative concussion issues. They're building up, and he's in trouble.
Yes.
He's in trouble, and I'm afraid
he's going to retire.
I'm just afraid he's going to have to stop.
Yes.
And so he goes out, and I'm starting to think, you know what? Sometimes a team has a meant-to-be year where it just goes right, and it's going that way for Philadelphia because now they got the rough part of the schedule out of the way. That was a huge win. Way to go, Philly.
No.
Well, it's not time to throw the parade, but I got to give it up because that was a big win. I didn't think they could do it, and you didn't think they could do it.
They say they don't want you to give it up to them until they beat the brakes off your Cowboys.
Well, we haven't played them yet.
You better be glad.
So guess what they get to do now? They get to go home for 3 games.
Woo!
They get Washington, they get the 49ers, and they get those up-and-down Broncos with Trev, who'll probably be Simeon in that game.
Now you want
stink it up.
Now you want the Broncos to
No.
Oh, no. You do your dirty work. You do your own. You want somebody else to go in there and try to rough the Eagles up. Yeah. That's your job.
Yeah, but
you got Dak.
After those 3 easy home games, then they get Dak. They go to Dallas, and then a little on down the line, they go to Seattle, and they go to the Rams. I'm going to have to root for those teams because now it's looking dim.
Hold on.
Looking dim. Well, that's 5-1.
Hold on.
I counted on this. I counted.
I counted on it too. I counted on you guys starting off the way you started off because I told you, you laughed at me.
Please.
Are you saying the Cowboys? But look, you keep talking about what they got. Seattle, you got Seattle also. You got the Eagles twice. You got Washington twice. And my first cousin about to get paid. We're going to talk about him later.
We are going to, yeah.
Your day is over. It is over. I told you. Commissioner Goodell was making that phone call, and Zeke happened to answer the phone because, you can't leave that kind of message on voicemail, Joy. You need to pick up the phone.
Yeah, but we still got Alfred Morris. We still got Darren McFadden. We still got Rod Smith.
For real?
We still got hope. We still got a chance.
No mercy. Yesterday, a federal appeals court finally gave their ruling on Ezekiel Elliott. The court sided with the NFL, ordering a Texas court to dismiss Elliott's case. The NFL announced the 6-game suspension for Zeke is effective immediately, though we may see more appeals. Let's take a look at the Cowboys' next 6 games. After a bye this weekend, they play at San Francisco and Washington. Then they play 3 of the best teams in the NFL, the Chiefs, Falcons, and Eagles. And they finish off with the Chargers. We're joined now by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson. Welcome, Eric.
Good morning. How you doing?
Eric, if Zeke is gone for the next 6 games, how will the Cowboys do?
Well, Skip, I got some good news
Oh, great.
for you, and I got some bad news.
Give me the bad news first.
The bad news first is that I think they were going to only win about 2 games. I think they'll go 2-4. The good news is they got 2 bye weeks. They've got a bye week this week, and I think they have a bye week when they play the 49ers. That's the good news. You know, really.
I don't know. The 49ers put up a bunch of points on your Rams on that Thursday night.
Who won the game? Huh?
You got me.
Who won the game?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well.
You know, I think the problem is that it's not just, not having Zeke. The offensive line is not playing like they played last year. And
True.
That is the big part of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, if they have Zeke, they're better for sure. How much better? I'm not sure because the team isn't playing the same. They're not having, 2nd and 2, second and third and 1. I mean, that's 2nd and 8. 3rd
Second and
7,
12 a lot because Zeke gets stuck in the back.
3rd and 15. It's just a lot of those. So without that same, offensive line play that they had last year, they're having a problem. I mean, even my good friend Emmett Smith said this. Man, you see them holes Zeke got? I'm like, Emmett, come on, man. What you talking about?
Yeah, we saw the hole with Nate Newton and Tuanay and Skepdowski easy.
I think that's one of the problems, and I think they'll beat the 49ers. I think they'll lose to the Redskins. I think they'll lose to Kansas City.
Oh!
I think they'll lose to Atlanta. I think they'll
lose
lose to Philly, and they possibly will beat the Chargers. And so I think they'll go 2-4 in that run. So. I say I got good news and bad news.
What do you got, 0-6?
Go
ahead, go 0-6.
All this is not necessary,
It's okay. It's okay, pile on.
But you will get Sean Lee back. That's the other good news.
Can he run the football?
It's like, okay, ED, which would you rather get run over by, a Mack truck or a dump truck? The end result is still
Just
the
get
same.
it over with quick.
Because guess what, Skip? When you had Zeke, you only went 2-3. And I told you, the difference between Zeke is Terrell Davis and the Broncos offense. Those other guys can run you, can get you 100 yards, get you 80 yards, you stay on rhythm. But Zeke Elliott can run you to the Super Bowl. Terrell Davis ran us to the Super Bowl. There's a reason why Alfred Morris only had 8 carries in 5 games, because Zeke is the bell cow. He gives you the best chance to win. And granted, the offensive line is not playing. Maybe it's not them. Maybe the defense got tired of hearing old Skip Bayless talk about how good his offensive line is, and Zeke was just eating.
He was eating after the game, too.
So the defensive coordinators and defensive linemen, they got tired of hearing about how great Zeke was. Skip, they're in a heap of trouble. They are in trouble because they were 2-3 with Zeke. And guess what? We're not going to have to drop that 8th guy down in the box to deal with Alfred Morris, to deal with Darren McFadden. So we're going to make that thing a little bit more complicated. Why'd you have to make things so complicated? Hey, your boy Dak, we about to find out. You say Dak is a franchise quarterback.
Do I?
Well, we about to find out.
Okay, I think we found out
in
a year and a half.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't find nothing out. We found out when he got up against old big A-Rod. A-Rod said, I want to make you feel good. Because Tony Romo was breathing over down your neck, and I wanted you to stay in there because I wanted to make sure.
We're talking about that game at Lambeau last year?
Yeah. Aaron lost that. Aaron lost it on purpose.
Oh, he lost it?
Yeah, lost it on purpose.
I did not know that. I learned something every day on this show. He got his butt whipped on purpose by a kid from Mississippi State who fell into the 4th round, and he lost 30-16 at home on the hollow, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
What happened? What happened when you get the playoffs? All the money.
31-all happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah, Mason crossbar happened twice from 56 yards and 51 yards. That's what happened. So in Dak, I trust, and I still say this team is going to win this division. It's a long, hard climb, but I'm standing by it. I'm standing by it because I got Dak and nobody else has Dak. I got the best quarterback in the division, and he will prevail.
You might have the third best.
I do like Dak, but I just think that the team is not playing well. And when you're not playing well,
I hear you, but all of a sudden, and again, we're doing if Zeke is gone, and I don't think he's going to be gone, but I'm going to just do the hypothetical. all of a sudden everybody's going to say, oh, because I told you last year they played scared, good, what I call good scared. It's like what Popovich calls appropriate fear. They had it last year because every game you're going into, we don't have Tony Romo. We got the 4th-round kid thrown into the fire. And what happened? They won 11 straight games with appropriate fear. This year, they have not had appropriate fear because they're fat-catting, man. They came in after they devastated the Giants when everybody thought the Giants were still the Giants on opening night, 19-3. And then they strutted up to Denver. We got this, just rolled those helmets with the stars on them out on the field. And what happened? That happened.
Trev was the best quarterback on the field.
Yeah, and has Zeke looked remotely like Zeke? Because he hasn't to me. I think he has eaten a little too much off the field. I think he's gained a couple of extra pounds, maybe 10 extra pounds, and he hasn't had the burst that he had last year. And I know he got untracked in the 4th quarter, but he had 31 yards against Green Bay at home through 3 quarters. That's not exactly ED kind of numbers. And then in the 4th quarter, they dropped the safeties back out of the box. They said, we got to sit on this lead. And it's not just covered 2. You know, it's like they're playing like prevent to me. And all of a sudden, guess who got untracked? Oh, Zeke says, oh, now I got some holes. Because too many times he's going for none yards on 1st down, 1 yard, 2 yards. It's terrible. And Cole Beasley, I don't know where he's been, but he led the team in catches and yards last year, and he hasn't been there.
He caught 2 touchdowns last week.
Remember last year when people were talking about what's happened to Todd Gurley? You know, where's Todd Gurley at? And I kept saying, when your offensive line can't protect you, you can't get to the line of scrimmage, you have a problem. You're seeing Zeke get hit in the backfield a lot.
He has. Listen,
and that takes away from the running game.
For much of the game against the Green Bay Packers and certainly against your Rams, my offensive line lost the line of scrimmage. Seriously, they were losing. And I don't know why, if it's cohesion or chemistry, because we still got 3 studs that were ranked among all NFL players in the top 25. They're all there. They're healthy.
What I tell you about that chain? You got this chain right there, and this is the strong part of your chain with your offensive line. If you take 2 links out, links a week, that chain is like this. You know, it's got stuff coming through it.
The farthest right chain is not a weak link. He's just way out of position. If you put him back at guard, I'm talking about Lyle Collins. He's a stud. But at right tackle, he's been lost, and Chaz Green just can't. He's the weak link.
So and that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I mean, but just think, you and I will be able to talk about the playoffs. We'll be in the playoff mode. We'll be talking about teams.
What did you see when you looked up one moment against the Los Angeles Rams? Oh, who's that backup back? Who's that Alfred Morris guy? Oh, he's off to the races. He's going 70 yards.
But
I tell you about them backups.
But Zeke, it's easy to, we've seen a lot of backups on one team when they go somewhere else to be the starter. You're like, I thought he could. There's something called expectations. See, right now there's no expectation. That's why he got 8 carries. But when the expectations wrap up, because see, when you come in for a guy that's injured like a Zeke, they expect you to be him.
They do.
He's not him. Skip, it's okay. I told you weren't going to the playoffs. I told you you're going to be.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know what? Here's my biggest.
Do you think they're going to the playoffs, though?
Yeah, well, if you win the division, don't you get to go to the playoffs?
But you're not winning the division.
You're not going to win the division.
I just said I'm going to win the division, so why would you ask me if I'm going to the playoffs?
What do y'all normally bet, or what?
Case of Duke.
Case of Mountain Dew.
Can
Diet Dew.
I get
Yeah,
some of
you
that?
can get that.
All right,
Yeah, you got it right here, right now.
I
don't back off, man. I'm not backing down.
I like that. A man is loyal to his team.
I do have one big fear, and this I can't control. What have I been campaigning for? Go sign Antonio Cromartie. We had him on yesterday. He says, I ain't heard nothing. Go sign Darrelle Revis.
Well, they ain't going to sign him now because he said he's kneeling.
So my fear is that Jerry effectively is, he's kneeling. He got Kaepernick. So the point is, it feels like Jerry's saying, I'm going to rebuild on defense this year. I'm going to reload with the kids because my offense will kind of cover up. You can't cover up that much. If you're going to play Jordan Lewis and Awuzie and Xavier Woods every snap on defense with 3 kids back there, you can't survive like that.
You don't normally when you rebuild, it's a rebuilding process
for the team.
But when you got an offense this good and you have a defense that good and you talking about you rebuilding, they're like,
just one vet, just go sign one guy, a veteran presence.
Well, you think about last year's Cowboys. Who carried that team? The offense.
Yeah.
The offense.
Okay,
the offense
but remember,
because what they did, they kept everybody on the sideline.
Okay, they kept on the sideline, but when they were on the field, they were still 5th best in the whole league in scoring defense and points allowed.
Yep.
And they lost a bunch of veteran presence. I'm not saying because you didn't like used Carr.
No.
But he's been there, right? He's been there. We just saw Barry Church. He's been there. Now he's playing really well for Jacksonville.
Wilcox.
Wilcox has been there.
Edie. Oh, I want Jeff Heath. I want him on the field. He picked Aaron Rodgers
Well,
off.
he did. He picked him twice.
Now every time I turn around, every time I see Jeff Heath, he's on the ground. Everybody just shaking him out of his shoes. What happened? I thought you wanted him on the field. And what happened to Byron Jones? He just let Jared Cook just run all the way across the field.
He's an athlete, though, Byron Jones.
Yeah, well, he should try
All of them athletes. That's the thing.
Well, he should be a decathlete then.
Yeah, he should be.
Well, this isn't settled. There's still some things that could happen in the next.
I think
Like
there's
what?
A whole lot.
A loss in San Francisco?
I mean,
You know?
no.
I tell you, they
before
got 2
the
bye
game.
weeks.
Yes.
San Francisco go get him.
You think so?
I'm going to put a case to do. San Francisco go get him.
Premature celebration.
Kyle Shanahan, 10 days
Okay, you
off.
got it.
I'm gonna hold you to
Done.
that.
Done.
No, next week.
Done.
No,
No, good. You just said it right now.
No mercy. Jay Cutler's first season with the Dolphins is not going great. The Dolphins are last in the NFL in yards per game and points per game, leading some fans in Miami to call for the team to start Matt Moore. Chants of "We want more" could be heard during the Dolphins home game on Sunday. Let's take a listen to Jarvis Landry's reaction to that.
I believe that it's disrespectful. You know, a man that comes out here and works his ass off, you know, and for people to not understand what's really going on or to not even have touched the field before, say we want somebody else to be playing. And they don't understand the situation or know what's going on. You know, they just want to be on Twitter or they just want to start a damn chant. And it's embarrassing as a player to have fans like that. It's embarrassing.
Charlie Weiss is with us. Charlie, what is your take on Cutler?
Well, first of all, let's say the fans have a right to say whatever they want, you know, and
Within reason, Charlie.
yeah. But the best position in football is the backup quarterback.
Yes.
Because all the fans always cheer for you until you have to play, and then when you have to play, then they cheer based off of what you've done in the game. So a backup quarterback is a great position to be in. Okay, so you could see why wouldn't Moore, you know, be in that position. That being said, Cutler's problem, and what Jarvis doesn't understand, Cutler's problem is not a Miami Dolphin problem. Okay, Cutler's always had a reputation of having very, very bad body language when things aren't going well. And it's, you know, one of the worst ever. Okay, and what's happened is things haven't gone very well, and the Miami Dolphin fans are now seeing what the Chicago Bears fans saw and the Denver Broncos fans saw. They see when things are going well, you don't see it, but when things aren't going well, his body language is really, really evident. So, you know, the Miami Dolphin fans, things aren't going well. They watch that body language, and they respond accordingly.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to disagree with Discount Odell. Oh, I mean, Jarvis Landry. You know, they call him
Discount Odell.
Yeah, my bad, Skip. I said that out loud.
Boy, that's a shot.
Oh, my bad. Jarvis.
I think he's every bit of Odell.
No, you better stop playing. Stop playing.
Come on.
They're saying we want more. Yeah. We want more out of this offense. We want more out of you, Jarvis. We want more out of Ajayi. Because we look, we talk about Tannehill all we want to. They never looked this bad last year. When Moore came in, they never looked this bad. Jay Cutler walked away from the game. They enticed him out with a lot of money, as Charlie said. Now the Miami Dolphins fans see what the Bears fans saw, what the Bronco fans saw. Oh, he's so arm talented. Oh, Adam Gase got the most out of this guy. They were on the same page. Well, I hate to see if he didn't know this offense, how bad would he look? Because that was one of the reasons they signed him. Skip, Jay Cutler is what he is. You still got the hookup from at Vanderbilt, right? I'm not talking about Vanderbilt. I'm talking about Jay Cutler. Vanderbilt, I love Vanderbilt Commodores right on, right here. Okay.
You got no hookup from me.
Come on, Skip. Come on, Skip.
Yeah, you just disqualified that hookup
You and
with
I,
everything you just said.
Skip.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is when things are going good for Cutler, things are good, you know.
Which is not very often.
Yeah, but when they aren't going good, you don't see it. Okay, so he could go out this week, and they're playing Atlanta. He could end up getting a bunch of completions, But at the end of the day, when things go bad, when you're the quarterback, if you show that on your face and show that by your body language, your team's going to react accordingly.
It's why Adam Gase yells at him when he's coming off the field after a bad play. Head up, head up. Just keep your head up.
Yeah, but those stats keep on going down.
Here's why I agree with what Jarvis Landry said, and I appreciate the fact, because that was a pretty bold statement he made, because he took on his whole fandom, and he said they just want to be on Twitter or to start a damn chant, to quote him. It makes me sick and tired to hear Jay Cutler bashed the way he's bashed, because people talk about him like he's a dog or a bust. And I did go to Vanderbilt, and he went to Vanderbilt, but this is not just about that. It's about the fact that he was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year, and your man, Mike Shanahan, who was a great teacher of the quarterback and a man who could see, who could play quarterback. He traded up to get him with the 11th overall pick. And Jay Cutler made a Pro Bowl in Denver, and he got a Bears team to the NFC Championship game off an 11-5 year, and he now ranks 34th all-time in touchdown passes. Well, that's not a bust, because look at the guys he's ahead of in touchdown passes. Kurt Warner and Phil Simms and Joe Namath and Troy Aikman and Joe Theismann and Roger Staubach. He's thrown more touchdown passes than all those guys.
Which one is Cutler better than on that list?
Okay, but again, has he won big? He's 70-73 as a starting quarterback.
Is that good?
It's not terrible. I mean, I can show you a lot worse, and I still say he's better than Ryan Tannehill, because I never liked Ryan Tannehill. He's done more than Ryan Tannehill will be able to do.
I think it's good when a player sticks up for their teammate.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. Let's not. I think it's a good thing when a player comes out and kind of takes the heat off the quarterback and puts it on themselves. Kind of, I'll take the heat instead of you putting it on him, and stands up for him. I think that's a good thing. I don't think anyone on the team would disregard that. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to how you play.
Yes.
Okay,
and that's the thing, though, Skip.
Did you hear what Jarvis Landry said?
Yeah.
He works his tail off, because he does. In practice, they see that.
At the end of the day, a lot of guys work their tails off. Some guys just
Some
can't get it
quarterbacks
done.
don't.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. There have been times when I was in Denver, and our offense wasn't always good, or we wasn't always playing good. And we're running onto the field, and one of the players was like, man, you hear the crowd booing? I'm saying to myself, that ain't the crowd, that's me. I'm booing you, sorry, you know what's also. Booing is not the problem. Fans, if you see something you don't like, I got no problem with you booing, because you've earned that right to boo. Jay Cutler is not getting it done, Skip. What they thought they were going to get.
But remember, they're not 0-4, they're 2-2, and they beat a good defense that the Chargers have and a good defense that Tennessee have. By hook or crook, they did it. They're 2-2.
But how has he looked?
Well, he had a good game against the Chargers, because he went 24 out of 33. That's pretty good, with a touchdown and no interceptions. That's a pretty big, like you said, every once in a while he'll have a Jay Cutler game where you'll say, but nobody wants to talk about it. But
No, you have to talk about it. It's part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I think I've only my only negative, and I stressed my only one. I don't know Jay Cutler. I've never spoken to Jay Cutler, so I can't. With some quarterbacks I've spoken to, I kind of get a feel for. All I know is I've watched games and watch on TV, and when things aren't going well, I mean, it's like he just lost his best friend.
Well, yeah, and plus, I mean, it's their home opener. And you already lost the fans. But I will say, though, Matt Moore is beloved in Miami. You talk about the backup quarterback being the best position.
Beloved.
Anytime
really good at what he
anything goes wrong with anyone that's playing quarterback, they start yelling for Matt Moore. And Matt Moore is a great backup quarterback, but that was just bound to happen at some point this season.
No mercy.
Next up, the Thunder, Rockets, and Celtics all beefed up their rosters with superstars this offseason to try and compete with Golden State. The Warriors are huge favorites to defend their title as the season tips off next week. But Michael Jordan thinks super teams are bad for the league. Here's what Jordan said in an interview with Cigar Aficionado. I think it's going to hurt the overall aspect of the league from a competitive standpoint. You're going to have one or two teams that are going to be great and another 28 teams that are going to be garbage, or they're going to have a tough time surviving in the business environment. Shannon?
I wonder when Cigar Aficionado will let your boy come on in there and be on the
Really?
wow.
I know it.
really?
You see his eyes, Skip? See, you want to know
Stole
that.
my joke. I wrote it. I made a note to myself to make the joke.
I'm
and
coming.
stole it. Yeah, it's all right.
Hey, Skip, I know you wondering why aren't your eyes as dark as Michael Jordan? You can see his eyes dark because he be on that yak in the miles like I do.
Because you don't actually smoke miles?
No, see, what I do, I sleep with a Billy Rubin blanket. You know, when babies are born with jaundice, they put them in that Billy Rubin. You know what I'm talking about, Joey. I sleep with one every night, make sure my eyes nice and white, teeth nice and white. You know, so that's what I do. That's why I'm like that. But anyway, back
I
to
hope Michael's watching right now, and he learned how to.
You should send him a blanket.
Yeah, I need to send him a Billy Rubin blanket.
Is MJ right?
He is. Trash is a little harsh though, Skip.
Garbage.
He should have said recyclables. You know what I'm saying? He's absolutely right. And what has transpired, Skip, is that when Michael played, guys couldn't move like this. And guys are willing to move now. And he's like, well, why would a guy leave 30 million or 40, 50 million on the table? Because guys are getting $20 and $30 million shoe contracts to help offset some of the money that they might be leaving on the table by going to a better situation. You got Klay Thompson. Now, he just signed an $80 million sneaker deal, basically $10 million a year for the next 8 years. So he's looking at it like this. Now, I could go somewhere and I can make 35 million a year, or I can stay in Golden State, win probably 2, 3, 4 over the next 8 years and make 28 million. 35, I'm not going to win. 28, I'm going to win. And guess what? Still, everybody's still going to know who I am, because look at Russell. Look at the market that he's playing in. Do we not know who Russell is? Can Russell not go around? He has a global brand, and that's what we're seeing. These guys, and I don't like it. I don't like it. This is what I like. The NFL, we have no idea who's going to the Super Bowl. None. Zero. We thought the Patriots, we talked about it, they won the Super Bowl, they geared up in the offseason, seemed like they got strong on offense and defense. We are 5 weeks, we still don't know. We feel very comfortable in saying Golden State's going to be playing someone from the Eastern Conference, and it's probably going to be Cleveland or Boston. That's where we are. Skip, we haven't even played a game. We're 5 games into the NFL season, and we still don't know. They haven't wrapped up the preseason in basketball, and we have a fairly good idea. So the fans in all these cities that are not Golden State, that are not Cleveland, that are not Boston, they're excited. But what about, like he's talking about, he knows Charlotte never going to compete. Brooklyn, these teams are not going to compete because the big superstars are not going to go there unless there are other superstars. How do you attract them? You're not winning. You don't have a superstar. So what Michael said is absolutely right. Was he harsh in his critique? Yes. But he told the absolute gospel truth.
I can't tell you how much I disagree with every point you just made. But let me get back first to Michael Jeffrey Jordan, whom I got to know and covered in Chicago when he was not just a Bull, he was the Bull and the player in the history of this league. In the history of sports, I've never been around a greater competitor, a greater performer under pressure. And in those days, that Michael Jordan would have said to this, bring it on. You know, I'll just stay here by myself, and you guys load up over there, and you load up over there, and I'll kick all your behinds.
And he
just
wasn't
bring
beating
them
him.
here.
And he ain't going to beat him.
He would have beaten them.
Oh, do you remember what happened with the Big Three Chicago?
Yeah.
When they were loaded up, he couldn't beat them.
No, you mean the Big Three where?
In Chicago and Celtics.
In Celtics.
And when the Lakers had that
he
thing
was
going.
just a child. He was just starting, and they were veterans.
Do you believe with that team, the way they constructed right now, Golden State, you believe Michael Jordan could have beat that team?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Skip.
Hey, then you don't get it. You don't get what this guy was. If you had, he still had Rodman, and he still had Pippen, and he still had Harper, and I have never seen a more suffocating defense than the '98 Bulls played. You couldn't get the ball across half court against him, and I would say good luck to this Golden State team, just on toughness. They couldn't have stopped this guy for sure.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
He would have terrorized
Are they
this team.
playing 98 rules or are they playing current rules?
98 rules.
Okay, well now, that team, with 98, you couldn't put that team together, so.
So back to your point you made about New England. I've been doing this for a long time, and every time you say somebody is a prohibitive favorite, life always happens. And I'd never seen anything like how prohibitively favored New England was coming into this football season. Now, the injury factor is a little higher in football, just a little higher than it is in basketball, but there's still an injury factor. And I'm knocking on wood. I'm not wishing it on anybody. But when you least expect it, an injury happens. Julian Edelman's gone for the year? Oh, wait a minute. Dante Hightower, he tore. I think he needs knee surgery. He's just trying to gimp through it right
Well,
now.
they moved Skip. He played middle. Now they put him on the edge.
It's just he's not right.
Okay.
So he's the driving force of the defense, and all of a sudden this happens, and Gronk's not quite right as we suspected he might not be right, but they look like they won the Super Bowl and won the offseason, and it still doesn't matter because they're, 3-2,
Yes.
and they're tied with the Jets and tied with the Bills, and now people are saying the Jets have a shot to beat them this Sunday at Jets.
No, they don't.
Okay, well, they don't. I agree, but that's where we are right
Yes.
now because that was the prohibit. No team has ever been a bigger favorite in the National Football League than this team was coming into this year.
Correct.
Whoa, interesting. So now let's get down to 28 garbage teams. So I assume Michael is suggesting that you got Golden State in the West and you have, I guess he means Cleveland in the East,
Correct.
period, end of story. So do I give the San Antonio Spurs a shot to win it all this year? You better believe I do, and I'm going to get back to them in just a second. Do I give Houston a shot this year to dethrone? I give them a shot. Do I give Oklahoma City a long shot? I give them a long shot. And in the Eastern Conference, do I give Boston a shot to dethrone the Cavs? Yes, I do. Do I give the Miami Heat a shot? Just a shot.
Yes.
Is it realistic that they could compete with Cleveland?
Yeah.
The aging Cavaliers. You want to talk about injuries waiting to happen? I'm knocking on wood. I'm not wishing it upon them, but you got so many aging veterans. Things could happen. Things can go wrong. Chemistry can't happen. Dwayne's kind of on his last legs. I don't know what's going to happen with them. They're all teetering. LeBron's in his 15th season, so you can't book it. You can't book Golden State. And here's what I'm going to remind everybody of this because nobody wants to accept it. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals last year. Get this through your head. It's San Antonio at Golden State, where, by the way, San Antonio won the first game of the last regular season by 29 points. So they like playing there. They are up 23 points in the third quarter. Why was that? Because Kawhi Leonard had a coming out party last year and turned into the best two-way player. He used to be the best defensive player only, but last year they finally convinced him, shoot it! And he was shooting the hell out of it because he'd scored at that point in Game 1 at Golden State 26 points with 8 rebounds. He had made all 11 of his free throws because he makes all of his free throws. In Game 1 last year, he made 15 out of 15 free throws. He was dominating the team that you says is invincible. Really? So he gets hurt. Zaza Pacheep shot happens, and he's gone for the rest of the series. You can't tell me San Antonio would have just folded the rest of the way. They would have won that game, and I would have loved to have seen Game 2 at Golden State because it would have been a barn burner. All the pressure on the home team. Let's see if they'd fold.
You see, the difference between football and basketball is if I get you down like that, I win a game. It's over. There is no tomorrow. I do not see a team in the Western Conference beating the Golden State Warriors 4 games over a 2-week span. And that's what Michael is talking about, Skip.
You know what? Here's the amusing part of Michael. So once upon a time, he was the greatest player in any sport ever. Then 11 years ago, he took over the Charlotte franchise. And guess what's happened in 11 years? Michael Jordan could not do upstairs what he could do out on the court, because they have made the playoffs 3 times in 11 years, and they've gone out in the first round all 3 times. And over that 11-year span that he's been running that franchise, they have the 5th worst record in the entire NBA, tied with the New York Knicks. So, as I always tell you, the greatest players often make the worst upstairs, the GMs, the personnel directors.
Yes.
So Michael's not very good at building a championship team in Charlotte.
Skip, if you look at it, look at Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick got right twice. He got Tom Brady, but he didn't know what he had with Tom.
No.
And he got Gronk in the second round. But you look at the rest of his picks. It's not like every year he hits. Now, you look at Ozzie Newsome. He drafted 4 first-ballot Hall of Famers. He got Ogden, he got Ray Lewis, he got Ed Reed, he got Terrell Suggs. Skip, you never know. You hope like, okay, this guy can't miss. You don't know. I don't care what the sport is. You really don't know what you have until you get that guy in your locker room, in your uniform, and he has to go into the fight.
I know, but look at what R.C. Buford has done in small market San Antonio, a guy who, by the way, didn't even play in college.
Yeah.
So how does he know? How does he know game tape? How does he know what to do? He hits and hits and hits and hits. He hit on Kawhi Leonard. He went and stole Kawhi Leonard
Yes.
from Larry Bird.
Yes.
Right?
That happens sometimes. It's kind of like Coach Belichick stole Tom Brady in the 6th round. If they thought Kawhi
That wasn't a steal, though. That's just luck.
Yeah.
That's just like you don't know, or you'd take him in the 2nd round.
Yeah, well then if you thought Kawhi was that, why didn't you trade up earlier? Why didn't you trade up
Because
earlier?
that's the best you could do. You're trading for what were they? Probably 29 or 30.
Yeah, well,
coming
you
up?
should have gave up 2 first rounders this year and the next one. They didn't know. I mean, Skip, it's easy to say because the way Kawhi, you can tell me after averaging 7 points his first year, you saw this Kawhi? Or can you say after averaging
I
14?
didn't.
No, come on. Skip.
I watched him at San Diego State in the playoffs and the NCAAs, and I didn't see this.
Exactly.
But R.C. Buford did, and he saw it in Tony Parker, and he saw it in Ginobili. Look at him. Saw it in Patty Mills. Look what he does. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Unless Michael was talking about the Charlotte Hornets, which I'm assuming he wasn't, I don't think I would imagine I'd like hearing that if I was on the team.
He ain't like everybody. They know all he did was say what everybody else was afraid of.
I know, but he's the owner of the team. You can't say that.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But maybe
when
he was like the Warriors and the Hornets are super teams, and that's it.
Joy, you know, on a warm afternoon, you drinking that yak. He probably got one of them Hebers. You know, he might not be on the miles like me, Skip.
No, he goes big.
Yeah, I know he on them old big old long, them old robusto.
No mercy. Kawhi Leonard has missed the entire preseason while rehabbing a quad injury, but ESPN projected him to win his first MVP this season. They have Kawhi beating Anthony Davis, LeBron, Durant, Harden, and Westbrook. Kawhi has been Defensive Player of the Year twice, and his offensive numbers have steadily increased every season.
What? Can you believe this?
Shannon, what's your
Where
reaction?
did this come from?
It's not going to happen because the MVP and what I've noticed over the last couple of years, the MVP voting in basketball is all about narratives. And the narrative was Russell Westbrook. KD left old Russ. Poor Russ. What is he going to do?
Well,
I'm averaging a triple-double.
He triple-doubled.
Yeah, so
That's
now
what
give
he
me
did.
my MVP. LeBron James went. They're like, no, we're not giving it to you, even though he should have won it. They gave it to Derrick Rose, hometown kid, playing boom, boom, boom.
That was a long time ago.
Hold on, you're going to let me
It
tell
was
my
a
story.
long time ago. People need context. Go ahead.
What's longer than never? Which is Kawhi has never done. So which is longer? Long time ago or never?
Long time ago.
Okay, exactly. Kevin Durant, great story. Hey, narratives. LeBron, Kevin Durant will get because they'll have better numbers, both scoring, rebounding, and assisting the basketball. So with that, Kawhi, I love busting your bubble. He's not winning the MVP. He has not even played yet. You don't even know if he's going to be ready to start the season. So with that being said, hate to break it to you. Actually, I don't. I love breaking bad news to you. He's not winning the MVP.
You keep contradicting yourself. You hate to, but you'd love to.
I love to. Yeah, I was thinking about, do I like Breaking Bad? Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
I like to interrupt your normally scheduled programming.
Tell me when you're finished.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. I'm starting with this. Nobody can win the MVP playing in the Eastern Conference because I'm just going with what Shannon Sharpe told me. It's the worst it's ever been. No conference in the history of the NBA has been weaker than the East will be this year, says this man. Am I correct?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so degree of difficulty is, 10 times higher in the West to win MVP?
Yes.
Okay, so if Kawhi puts up MVP numbers and has MVP impact on the San Antonio Spurs, as he did last year, he's going to win it whether you like it or not. And I don't even want to get into the fact that LeBron is coming off his worst free throw shooting year of his career, a career where 67%, you're disqualified. You're disqualified because you're in the East, and you're disqualified because you can't make your free throws, which Kawhi shoots at a 90% clip.
Skip.
You got to make the free throws. They're called free throws. MVP makes those shots.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How does him shooting 67% last year from the free throw line impact what he's going to do this year from the free throw line?
Because what did he do? He guaranteed going into the playoffs he was going to shoot like, what did he say? I'll be up there around 90%. Nope, wrong. You weren't.
He said 80.
Yeah, I think he said 80
He
to
said
90.
80.
Yeah, but no, he wasn't. He was right around that same.
What about that triple double? What if he averaged a triple double for the season?
Okay, are you predicting that?
Skip, I just asked you a question.
If he does, he might have a shot. If he averages a triple-double.
Oh,
is he going to do it?
Let me get this right. You said if LeBron James averages a triple double, he might have a shot to win the MVP?
Because he's in the East. Nobody's going to put much stock in it, except I know most of the media loves LeBron, so maybe they give the East a pass. It just doesn't matter.
Why you do that?
I'm not doing it. I'm just telling you the God's truth about what's going on, because look at what happened last year. Kawhi actually got overlooked last year because he was third in the NBA in PER, player efficiency rating. And the point is, guess who's second on his team in PER? Pau Gasol at 43rd in the league. He had no help. LeBron had Kyrie last year. He had Kevin Love
If you don't mind me asking, and I want you to, please feel free to answer this question. LeBron and Kyrie both missed 8 games. Can you tell our astute listeners at home what was the Spurs record and what was the Cavs record without their 2 best players on the court?
The Spurs are playing Sacramento, and look who they played. We don't have time to go through it. It's just a bunch of nobodies.
Oh,
you can in the West. You can beat Sacramento. Although this year they're going to be a little tougher.
So I just want to make sure, because I'm sure our astute fans were watching at home, Joy. So you're saying that Sacramento is not a very good team, and you give him praise for that, but you want to minimize and criticize LeBron because he plays in the East?
Yeah. Our astute fans have already disqualified LeBron James from this argument.
No.
You're over and you're out. You can't win it, especially this year in the East. Maybe once upon a time. I give you back in, what was that, like 8 years ago when Derrick Rose won? Well, it was a long time ago. LeBron's in his 15th year.
2011.
2011.
2010.
Yeah, it's a long, boy, that's like going on 8 years ago. Well, in that year, I give you, LeBron probably deserved the MVP over Derrick Rose.
He did.
The narrative got going, the story. Oh, he's hometown kid, he's going to take the Bulls.
So the narrative is now.
He was the next Michael Jordan.
So now the narrative.
Now he's
Kyrie.
yours. Now he's your point guard.
Kyrie is gone.
Yeah.
What is LeBron going to do? LeBron said, hold on, y'all forget this. Y'all must have forgot. You remember I had these 4 MVPs before even Kyrie was barely in the league when I was doing what I was doing. So
what did Kawhi do last year in late and close situations, just during the regular season?
not finish games?
Plus 62, that was number
my
one in the NBA last year. And what happened with the game on the line, just points scored? Kawhi scored 18 points and LeBron scored 7 with the game on the line during the regular season last year. And then speaking of PER, when we got to the playoffs, and I know Kawhi didn't make it all the way through, but number 1 in the NBA playoffs last year in PER belonged to Kawhi Leonard.
Well, considering that he didn't play this, so can he?
But they were up 23 on Golden State in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals.
Let's say somebody just called in. They want to know, in Game 6 of the Western Conference semifinals, when the Spurs went to Houston, and Kawhi did not play, can you tell the fans at home, because he said he forgot to score, can you tell what was the score of that ball game?
That was all about James Harden.
They say the Spurs won by 39.
Yeah.
Without Kawhi.
James Harden didn't show up.
Are we taking radio callers now?
Yeah, we'll call it a live TV show. We take Skip, and the game, what about the game before?
Oh, wait.
That he got hurt in?
Chris Healy just told me to remind everybody that in the GM poll that just came out, remember that one?
Yes.
The annual GM poll? Yeah. Who was voted best defensive player and best perimeter defensive player in the NBA?
Kawhi.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard. So all that offense that exploded last year because they finally convinced him to be unselfish is coupled with he's the best defender in the NBA. So does that mean he's the best two-way player?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So the case is closed. He plays in the West, and ESPN has said, they have concluded, Tom Haberstraw concluded, Kawhi is going to win the MVP. So I guess I'm not that crazy,
hold on.
right?
Eric Shanks, president of Fox Sports, just sent me a text. He says, what position does Kawhi play? Small forward. The GMs voted who best small forward in the NBA?
I don't remember. Help me out. You need to text Steve Owens and find out.
No. This was Shanks.
Oh.
Shanks texted me, and he said, Shannon, only take texts for me. So he said, okay, the player that forced you to make the most in-game adjustment. Who was that, Skip?
He plays in the Eastern Conference. He's really good, but he plays in the East. Who told me? Shannon Sharpe told me it's the worst it's ever been.
The guy, the best
How
small,
can you,
the
you've
best
lost
small,
the argument.
the best
It's
small,
over.
the best small forward.
Yeah.
The guy that forced you to make the most in-game adjustment.
Okay, I'll give you all that. Yeah.
7 of the 13 categories in which.
Although he's getting a little old.
I can't tell.
He's 15 years in the league.
15 deep and still getting folk to business. In year 14, after playing the most minutes in the NBA, average a triple-double. Average a triple
Shannon,
double.
it's over. You lost this argument.
about to be.
He plays in the East.
Well, when Kawhi gets on the floor,
You better hope that Miami and Boston are really good, so at least you have some credibility here.
I just hope Bron I don't hope for anything because I already know what Bron gonna do. He got that 1984 across his chest, chosen one on his back.
Who has the most help, Cleveland or San Antonio?
Now you talk about it.
I think you should watch out for James Harden for MVP this year.
Uh-oh.
No.
Well, he
No.
wasn't MVP against the
Nope.
Spurs in the playoffs, I can tell you that.
No, he was not. He was not.
He's still upset at Kevin McHale,
He
so ain't
was
no telling
not.
what's happening.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time on Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern. Have a great weekend.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.